Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fighters Anthology. In the morning sortie, we escorted C-130 tactical airlifters that were delivering crucial supplies to the Marines at Simferopol Airfield in Crimea. So now let's see what we do for our afternoon sortie to continue the let's see what we do for our afternoon sortie in supporting the continuing liberation of the Ukraine.
Armored units are clashing at the northern end of the peninsula. Without adequate support, the Marines will not be able to achieve a decisive breakthrough. You'll be patrolling the FIBA and aiding the Marines as necessary. J-Stars will monitor your position and vector you toward target-rich areas. Your primary targets will be armored, so include a healthy proportion of anti-tank weapons in the mix.
Alright, Tankbusting. USS Eisenhower, CBN 69. Date, June 1st, local time, 1400 hours. Weather, cloudy. Situation, Russian Army and US Marine Armored Battalions are clashing along the coast. Mission objective, fly to the FIBA and receive current target information for orbiting J-Stars aircraft. Order of battle, recommended aircraft F-22N, recommended weapons AIM-9M, AIM-120, AGM-65G, threat suppression data, ground opposition unknown, air opposition unknown. So, to do that, and looks like they've made a landing from Crimea onto the Ukrainian mainland. We're fighting south of Kherson. If we can make a breakthrough here, Kherson is as good as ours, and then we'll be within close range of Odessa. So if we can capture these two, that gives us two airfields and a port to continue landing supplies and troops at. We'll take our Hornet. We actually haven't taken a Hornet in a while. Let's see, air-to-air supplies look good. The Sidewinders are a little low, but I'm not too worried about that. We don't have that long left anymore. Loadout's good. Yeah, we'll just take a flare pod instead of a fuel tank, and I think we'll be good on that. We'll throw our jammers on. We'll get a ground link to the J-Stars so they can direct us our targets. We have Tomcats coming in. I'd like to think that they'd take out some of these helicopters. We have A-10s that will be assisting us. Okay, so fire an AMRAAM at these helicopters in the hopes that we can sink a couple of them. Certainly the troops on the ground will appreciate that. And honestly, these helicopters can be a pain in the ass if you let them.
Apex inbound, drop tap. Apex inbound, drop tap.
Alright, so AMRAAMs were good. Oh, we even have an EA-6 providing electronic warfare support. Be great if he could jam that SAM site, but... Oops. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to link our radar to the Russian attack helicopters. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Let's clear out the ZSU-23. That'll give us some room to work with. Looks like he's targeting the A-10s.
4 miles. Deploy.
Okay. Looks like we've drawn the attention of a helicopter. So hopefully... Holy shit. Wingmate, could you, like, kill them, please? You're getting scorched. Of course, the AI isn't very good at, fighting helicopters. Alright, they try to do turn and burn when they really gotta do boom and zoom. Alright. You are firing at me. You are a bad SAM site, very bad. We see there's MiGs at this airfield that are trying to take off.
We've got a
Looks like our wingman, that guy.
You're 12 o'clock. Tally-ho!
We could probably use a Sidewinder on him. Okay, the airfield absorbed that one for the most part.
Deploy!
We'll save our other Sidewinder. Okay. Well, if our wingmen come back to us.
Let's finish this guy. We've got him now. Bullseye. Beautiful.
Okay, he's down. I like how we are getting an IR threat off of him. Okay, so looks like they have 2 more MiG-21s that are taxiing for takeoff. So we'll grab this guy first. And then we'll grab this guy. Alright, now let's, now that we've taken care of the air threats, we can start our sweep of the ground forces.
4 miles. 4 miles.
I don't see any targets in this cluster. Okay, we have targets here. Let's gain a little bit of altitude so we can get a height advantage for our Mavericks.
4 miles. Deploy. 3 miles. Attack tank. You're 11 o'clock. Engaging. Oh, yeah. 3 miles. 1 mile in range.
Okay, our Maverick failed to kill this guy. He's got enough damage on him. Actually, we'll have our wingmate engage at T-72, and this guy we should be able to do a quick strafe of. And our RWR really doesn't like to give us warnings for those IR missiles in this mission for whatever reason. Thought we might have crashed there for a second. Okay, so nothing in that defensive position we need to worry ourselves over. Nothing in this one. That one doesn't seem to be an objective. Let's gain some altitude. And I want to get a little closer to the US side so we aren't as subjective to as much SAMs and AAA. Okay, so we'll have our wingman will take that one, and we'll take this BDR-80. Okay. ZSU-23 will take that one.
Taking a shot. 4 miles.
guy's still alive, so let's finish him off. Have our wingman disengage. Oh, another near crash of the game there. Really wish this could be more stable. This guy wants to take out our wingman. I don't want him to take out my wingman because I need his missiles for the last batch here. So we'll start directing him towards those tanks. He should have plenty of missiles left. And the tanks are... Oops. I didn't want to do that. Oh well. The tanks are starting to shoot at us because they get to do that for whatever reason. Don't eat too much lead yet. I need you to... Here we go. Now we just gotta spot targets for our wingmen and well, they are concerned with taking out our wingmen more so than us right now. So hopefully these are like the last two tanks or something. Go home. That would be really nice. Ooh, that was Let's get like about a mile separation here. Okay, now he's after me. I hope our wingman's coming in for another pass. Okay, I think he's coming in now, so...
4 miles, 9 o'clock.
There he goes. His Maverick's away.
Bullseye! Attack tank, you're 12 o'clock. Engaging. Sam launch. 2 miles. I'm taking a shot.
Alright, he's using a Maverick.
2 miles, 2 o'clock.
Alright, and that's this mission. Disengage and let's get the hell out of here.
Bravo, bearing 286. Descent 801. Contact. Sam, you're 3 o'clock. 2 miles. Please advise. Mission accomplished.
Alright, so the A-10s are still running their missions, it looks like. Alright, man, that was something. So now since we're finally in the Hornet, I can talk about the history of the Hornet. Now, the FA-18 Hornet started life as the YF-17 for United States Air Force Lightweight Fighter Competition. It was an Air Force competition for a daytime fighter. So, think kind of like a MiG-21, an early MiG-21 or something. And the F-16 ended up winning that competition. Because the requirements did evolve a little bit, I think, because, you know, they added all-weather capability eventually and such. So the Navy had their own competition for the VFAX, Naval Fighter Attack Experimental. And McDonnell Douglas modified their YF-17 into the F-18 for that. And they also made it the first production plane with fly-by-wire technology. So that's an interesting first for the F-18. Nowadays, fly-by-wire is standard on just about every new build and modern aircraft, and most refitted aircraft too. It was also one of the first aircraft to extensively use multifunction displays in the cockpit. We had guys, now we're there. There we go. Now, originally the Navy wanted to have an F-18 for doing like fighter work and an A-18 for attack work, But eventually it was, and the main difference would have been avionics, but eventually they realized, wait, we can put the avionics of both into one aircraft and have it do both. Yay! Because avionics had finally gotten to the point where you could do that. That was the main reason why roles were separated so much before, is because, you know, you just didn't have the room or the weight or the what have you to fit both ground attack and air combat avionics into an aircraft. And another point of the F-18 was that the F-18 was it was designed for reliability and ease of maintenance. A GE F-404 engine, which are two of them actually, which propelled the aircraft up to a speed of Mach 1.8. At least that's what they tell us publicly. It entered service with the Marines in 1983, and the first FA-18A rolled off the assembly line in 1978, and they entered service with the Marines in 1983 and the Navy in 1984, where they replaced A-7 attack aircraft, the A-7 Corsair IIs, and the remaining F-4 Phantom IIs that hadn't been retired yet. They were first deployed aboard the USS Constellation in 1985, and their first combat operations were against Libya in 1986. Alright. Let's get a handle on what's going on here. Are we zoomed in? We were zoomed in, okay. I thought things looked a little weird. Alright, so the original AN APG-68 radar was eventually replaced with an AN APG-73 in the FA-18A Plus aircraft. That's the designation they gave to A's with the replaced radar. And eventually also for later model aircraft too, such as the CD. Now, the A model was the original single-seater model, and the B model was a trainer. And but the C and D models ended up coming out in 1987, and they incorporated a lot of avionics improvements, specifically the ability to use the new AMRAAM missile. They had capability of using Maverick-guided missiles, harpoons. They also got upgraded ejection seats, which, you know, isn't exactly a glamorous thing, but I'm sure the pilots appreciate that. Slow our roll here.
Call the ball. Lower. Fire.
Alright, we have a good landing on second or third wire, it looks like. And we see the F-14 and the Prowler from afore. So we'll go park ourselves. Alright, now we can wait for our wingman. So yeah, AMRAAM, Harpoon, Maverick capability, upgraded ejection seats. They got self-protection jammers, synthetic aperture ground mapping radar, and that's basically it's a type of radar that can basically give you a black and white image of the ground, so you can kind of take pictures with it. And it also got a missionized second seat in the D model. So whereas in the B model it's a trainer model, and it's just an instructor back there, the D model actually has like a radar intercept officer or an attack officer, whatever you want to call them, that can actually handle things like the ground avionics or the radar. So the C and D upgrades in 1989 also include an AN AAR-50 thermal navigation pod, forward-looking infrared targeting pod support for night vision goggles, 2-color multifunction displays before they were monochrome, and a color-moving map. In 1992, they were upgraded again. Their engines were replaced with F404 GE402 engines. And then they also got support for the AAS-38A Nighthawk laser designator. The F-18 saw service in the Gulf War, where they were credited with 2 MiG-21 kills. And they also saw service in Operation Southern Watch. And in the Second Iraq War, the Afghanistan War, the Libyan Intervention, Operation Odyssey Dawn, and the anti-ISIL campaign. They are very widely exported. They are in service with Australia, Canada, Finland, Kuwait, Malaysia, Spain, and Switzerland. And originally McDonnell Douglas was going to make the FA-18L, which would have basically removed all the carrier modifications from the Hornet to make it cheaper for land-based customers. But most customers were perfectly happy buying the aircraft as it was. So they ended up dropping support for that. It's kind of a shame because they could have probably eked out a little extra performance. But, you know, if you remove the hook and stuff, you can lighten the weight a little bit, make it a little more maneuverable. But if they are happy as it is, I think that's a testament to how good the Hornet was. And it continues to see service, mainly with the Marines now, bombing ISIS in Iraq and Syria, bombing the Taliban and Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, Yemen, Somalia on occasion. So it hasn't seen a lot of air-to-air combat, but it's certainly seen plenty of air-to-ground combat. And it's slated to be replaced by the F-35C with the remaining U.S. Navy and U.S. Marine Corps squadrons that use it. And eventually, the design of the Hornet evolved into the FA-18E and F Super Hornet. But that, in a sense, that's a completely different aircraft, so we'll talk about that some other time. Debrief, USS Eisenhower, CVN-69. Date, June 1st. Mission, Tankbusting. Resolution, success. Great work killing those tanks and helicopters. The Russians won't be able to keep this up much longer with shooting like that. So we destroyed all 10 targets. We took 50% damage, but we are alive. Landing grade was 100%. Our wingman, holy crap, our wingman took 95% damage, and he has a 50% landing grade. But he's alive! He made it! We destroyed 3 MiG-21s, our wingman destroyed 1. I ended up destroying all 4 helicopters. Thanks a lot, wingman. So that's 2 Mi-24 Hinds and 2 Ka-50, whatever the Russian word for Black Shark is, I forget, Hokum. I think Hokum is the NATO designation. I can't think of what they call it. Or, no, it's not Black Shark, it's Alligator. Regardless, I forget the Russian name for them, but they were Ka-50 Hokums. We destroyed 1 SAM, I think that was an SA-15, 2 ZSU-23s. We destroyed 3 tanks, some combination. I know there was 1 BTR-80, and then I think a T-80 and a T-72. Our wingman destroyed 7 tanks, mostly T-80s and T-72s. All our air-to-air launches hit. Half of our wingmans hit. 1 failed, 1 spoofed. All of our Mavericks registered as hits, as did our wingmans. So we were Winchester on those. 34% gun accuracy. We went at 25%. There were 9 SAM launches on us. A couple failed, the rest we managed to spoof. There were 3 on our wingman, 2 failed, 1 was spoofed. And then 2 air-to-air launches on us, 1 failed, 1 we spoofed. They got quite a few gun hits on us and our wingman from the helicopters, and then the ZSU-23s ate up our wingman pretty well. Fortunately, the tanks didn't hit us, which, again, they do have that capability, and they will one-shot you, as stupid as that is, but...
Hey, Gary, turn on that news.
The Pentagon reports that coalition warplanes inflicted heavy damage on Russian armored divisions throughout the Ukrainian theater. Russian troops appear to be unable to check coalition advances into Ukraine, despite their reported use of nerve agents and chemical weapons.
They know they're gonna lose, And yet they have to push up the body count with nerve gas? I don't get it.
A careful review of the facts will reveal that none of this makes any sense.
Don't get existential on me, Gary. I hate it when you do that.
That is pretty serious if the Russians are using chemical weapons, especially since they're supposedly banned by maybe not necessarily the Geneva Convention, but was it the Hague Convention? Maybe? I forget. I know most people attribute it to Geneva, but I think there is some weapon that a lot of people attribute to Geneva, and it's actually Hague. But in any case, yeah, they're setting themselves up for. They will not own their country after this is done if they're going to use chemical weapons. So our Hornet took pretty severe damage, but fortunately it was all in the airframe, so we can mostly patch that up. We have 10% damage that we can repair later, and that'll be it for this mission. So we should have a hole in the southern mainland of Ukraine now, and hopefully Air Force A-10s have managed to make an opening for the Army out of Poland. So we should be getting there. Russians won't be able to keep this up for much longer. We don't have a long road ahead of us anymore. So that's it, and stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.